Da-da-da. Right, and we are live, I believe. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Currie Cup semi-finals. Watchalong Lions versus Bulls. My guys up against the form team in the competition. Should be an absolute cracker. So, before we get going, before we get to the team stuff like that, I think let's start with some predictions. I believe I went Lions by 5 or 7. So let me lock that into the comment section. So wherever you are, jump in the comment section. Let's get our predictions down before the game gets going, and then we'll look at the teams and stuff like that. The sides will be coming onto the field very soon, and then we'll have some action. Right, and as I say that, there it is. Morne Steyn walking onto the park first. It is his 100th game, so he obviously will lead the side out. But I'm going to go, I think I said Lions by 7. Right, score, predictions. Put it in the comments here. Lock it in. Can't go back on it then. We are going Lions by 7. And I'm going to go Lions by 5. But I have to back my boys. Back my boys. So what are you all thinking? What is the chat? What is the chat? Who are we backing? What are the score predictions? Let me know in the chat. Let me know who you're supporting, where you're watching from. Very excited for this game. It should be an absolute cracker. And we are finally up to some playoff rugby, what we've been waiting for all season. And it all comes down to 3 matches. Right, there we go. We'll go and share the link here. Bashi Bashavenga, the referee, taking charge today. Hopefully a good game from him, because that's probably been a bit of a talking point across competition, is a relatively poor standard of officiating across tournaments. So that's something that needs to be fixed, but let's try not be too negative. Hopefully we'll have a good refereeing performance. Hopefully no yellow cards. Hopefully a nice full game of rugby where it's not too much stop and start, which has been an issue as well. A lot of scrum resets and stuff like that. So let's hope for none of that tonight, or today rather, and just a free-flowing game of attacking rugby. Right, so we've got some predictions here. Linda Katia is saying Lions by 10. There we go. Henry Roberts going back in the Bulls by 14. 14 is player rugby, chap. Also, 14 requires 2 more tries. I don't think the Bulls are going to be worried too much about tries. Currently having a moment of silence for Jackson Tembu. What a loss that is for the country. And really does sort of paint the picture of how serious the sort of situation is. But at least we've got a bit of sport to try and give us a bit of a reprieve from what's going on in day-to-day living. So we've got Hertz Day that says Bulls win by 20 points. So he reckons it's going to be a bit of a runaway for the Bulls. Right, just try and share the group so we can try and get it. Please do smash a like. We want to try and get as many viewers as we can on the stream. We've got, I think we need 18 more subscribers to hit 500 subscribers. So if you're not subscribed, subscribe right now. Bottom right hand corner there. Just try and get the likes up to 10. Is there a live stream? Unfortunately, I can't show the game itself because that is against copyright law. So I'm going to try and give you the best thing as we just chat about the game and stuff like that. So if you're in South Africa, Super Sports, you'll go to, I think if you're in the UK, they're streaming it on YouTube these days, apparently on Sky Sports. And we've got kickoff. Well, and there we go. So the Bulls won the toss and they elected to receive. They were playing left to right. It's a deep kick there. And Albert Lowe takes it up. Right, so let's get into the teams themselves, shall we? So there has been a late change in the Bulls side as Ivan van Zyl finds an early touch finder. It's a very nice touch finder. So there has been an early change, or a late change rather. Marco Jansen van Vuren has come into the side. So if you look at the back line there, we've got David Creel, Kurtley Orense, Marco Jansen van Vuren, Cornel Hendricks, Trevino Jacobs, Morne Steyn playing his 100th game, Ivan van Zyl, Dwayne Vermeulen will captain the side, Ulrich Lowe, Marco van Staden. Andre Buerta will provide a bit of depth off the bench. And then we've got Ruan Nokia, Sintu Manjezi at the lock combination, Trevor Ndukane, Skalki Rasmus, and a big boost for the Bulls. Lizo Goboka is back from injury and he starts as well. And then in terms of the Lions side, as they win that line and try to set the first maul, which is actually getting a bit of momentum, so here we go. And it looks like we're going very close to touch. So Marco Andre Warner's going to have to get that out. Right, and if we look at the Lions side, we've got Tian Swanepoel, Steon Pienaar. Want to see a Similani. I was really looking forward to a Similani versus Steban Khan's battle, but we won't see that. Burger Oendal is against his old side. Cornel Skassan, Alton Yankees obviously captains this side. Andre Warner is the scrum half. And then the loose trio is Len Massane, Vincent Tuka and Jaco Creel. Marvin Orie and Willem Alberts, a very settled lock combination. And then Yanni Duplessis, a lot of experience next to Jaco Visagie. And Steve Satoli is back from injury as the Lions throw a bit of hands. Stay inside, stay inside. They have. This is good stuff from the Lions. Vincent Tuka now told to go and run it up. Okay, chat saying, where can we go to watch the game? So, if you're in South Africa, SuperSport is your only location as far as I know. Either on DSTV Now or whatever. If you're overseas, I know that the UK is showing the game on Sky Sports YouTube, which is quite an interesting sort of thing to go there. But yeah, unfortunately, if you don't have SuperSport in South Africa or DSTV, there isn't anywhere to really go watch the game itself. But I will try, well, we'll have a live score going over here. We'll have a live clock as well. So how long till kickoff? We have kicked off. We are 2 minutes 30 seconds into the game, and there's been an early penalty up from the Bulls. The Lions look pretty good on the attack, and I reckon they'll try and need to try and score early. But Morne Steyn has found touch, not great touch finder, and the Bulls will finally get a chance to have their bit of possession after the Lions had a bit of time to attack. Still plenty of time to get your score predictions in there. Jump in the comments there. Let me know what you think. We've got Lions by 5. Lindy Coetzee has got Lions by 10. Henry Rubert's got Bulls by 14. Chad Muso's got Bulls by 20. Gert Steyn has got Bulls by 20. So we've got 2 for the Bulls, 2 for the Lions so far. Now, man, you can't just drop the ball, you idiot. Okay, so there was a knock on there. I want to see the Similani. He's always got a smile on his face. He's up for the occasion. I don't think I've ever seen somebody smile and enjoy the game of rugby as much as Wandisile Similani. Even when he makes a mistake, you can see you can see there's a bit of frustration, but he just loves being on the field and playing, which I think definitely helps his game. So we are going to have the first scrum of the day. Here we go, Trevor. I would not like to be scrumming against Trevor. Such a good player there. Good to see him back with injury. And we've got Yanni Duplessis, who's going to take on. And I've got time off. What now? What's happening here, Rasta? Why have we got time off here? I don't know if we've got an injury or something like that, but we have got time off there. Please do smash like on the video. There is a bit of an injury. Well, that was he was dropped into the starting lineup late, and Marco Jansen-Vuren leaves the pitch. He's got a bit of a blood, so Marnus Potgieter is on the field. Wasn't supposed to be in this lineup at all, and he's on the field within the first 4 minutes. So, not the best start for the Wolves. Seems to be a bit of a cursed outside to centre position at the moment. Stephen Guns was ruled out with a hamstring strain. That's why he is not playing today. Right, so we've got time on. First scrum. This should be a big moment, actually. You've got so much experience in the tight heads. Not as much experience in the loose heads, but both very promising players. Look, Steve Satoli's been around a lot. Just hasn't necessarily played at the highest level. But he's been very impressive this tournament. So hopefully he can give a good account of himself up against the World Cup winner. There's the Bulls put in. And that is a very even scrum. Bulls, a bit of a shove there from the Lions, and the Bulls counter shove. Morne Steyn tries a cross kick. Currie Cup has got a bit of space there. He kicks ahead. That's good tracking back by Oscar Sun and Stian Pino. I want to see the Similani are there to help. And the Lions retain that. So it's a good kick chase from the Bulls, but some nice covering there from the Lions. Pretty even contest first up, to be honest. Definitely wasn't an overriding favourite when it came to the scrum there. It was a bit of a shove at the beginning there from the Lions, but a nice counter shove by the Bulls. And I think the scrums, set pieces will actually be very interesting. You always have to back the Bulls when it comes to set pieces. But look, the Lions have had their moments. There we go. Come on, Willem. The Lions trying to accelerate the game here. There's so much space out there. Yes, go, go, go. Cut inside, Tian. Yeah. Okay, so the Lions getting into the Bulls half. Ooh, nice inside ball there. Up to the 10 meters. This was good. Come. Let's try and score nice and early here. All good hands. Solid tackle there. No, Yanni. Okay, so we've got a knock-on advantage. That's a good kick from That's a perfect kick from Ivan Panzel. So he's found touch inside the 22, which means the Lions will have a defensive line out. Right, so just a bit of discipline, well, a bit of patience there required by the Lions, but throwing the ball around a lot at the moment. But an interesting tactic there with Mornestein opting for a cross kick early on. Wasn't quite, I mean, you sort of expected the up and under. But that tactical kicking battle is going to be a very good one over the match. So it should be very interesting to see how that plays out. All right, 4-man line out here for the Lions. There's a 5-man actually. I think there's somebody at the back there. Okay, so no contests. And Willem Albert will carry it up. I would hate to tackle Willem Albert. Can you imagine that guy running into you? I'm so out for that. John Swanepoel. And he finds Cheapers. That is a monster kick. I'll tell you, you talk about the Francois Stan and the boot he has. The next big boot here, Tiaan Swanepoel has found touch in the Bulls' half from within his 22, based on his 5 meters. So that's a huge kick. So no points in the early stages here, but I think both sides have had positive starts here. Not too look, to be fair, pretty much no tackles missed, I think, at this stage, and very few errors. So it's both sides have started quite nicely in terms of there's no sloppiness or anything. And to be fair, we've actually had quite a lot of game time. We've just had the one scrum with no resets, and now here comes the Bull rolling more, and they've got a penalty advantage. It is quite too far to kick though. And that's a good read by Burger Undal. And they'll go back for the penalty, surely. Yeah. Okay, so first blood Bulls in terms of the set piece, winning a penalty there, rolling more. It is in their half, so they won't be able to go poles here. So Mornestein, I'm sure, will try and find this close to the corner, and they'll probably set up the entire thing. And that's what the Bulls will always do. Back to the go-to set piece. Territory-wise, pretty 50-50 at this stage. But now a big opportunity for the Bulls to try and get first blood as they find touch just by the sort of the 22. So, on the 22, basically. That's a much better defense on the maul, so no advantage there. Yeah, Creel trying to rip that ball out. Right, we've got KPMG says Bulls by 5, so it's more. Yeah, so I mean we've both gone by 5. I think this is going to be quite a close game. I mean we've got, I think it was Chad who said Bulls by 22. I'll be very surprised if it's that sort of that open or that dominant, I suppose. No, man, tackle him, you idiots! Okay, thank you. Van van Zyl finding a gap there, thankfully charged down, and the knock. Varnish for what? I thought it was a knock on for them. No, man, tackle him! Okay, well then it must be over then. Rasta, if it's a knock-on advantage, how can they have 3 different rucks and they still, oh my, Mornestein and split the defense? That's better, that's better. Lots of continuity here. Oh, he dabs through. There's no one there, you idiots. Ah, they've scored. Ah, that's frustrating. So Trevino Jacobs goes over for the first points of the day. The Lions is guilty of just, not being anywhere. And a dab through by Mornestein. Trevino Jacobs, very well done. Look, bounce of the rugby ball does strange thing. Bounce very favorite. And what a time to score your first Currie Cup try then in the semi-finals itself. Yeah, Stian Pienaar probably guilty of being a bit out of position there, and then he had to win that ball and just doesn't. So plenty of space. Mornestein dabs it through. Bounces up nicely for Srinivit Jacobs. Stian Pienaar gets the read completely wrong. And Bulls take first blood. So there we go. We've got points on the board. Which means I suppose I should probably put points on our board. Right, so can Morning stay and add the extras? This is the question. Almost up to 40 people watching. Thank you very much for tuning in. Let me know what you're thinking of the game so far. Who are you backing? Any score predictions? You're only 10 minutes in, so get your score predictions in there. We will also be live for the Sharks Western Province game. It'll be after this. We'll be doing a bit of a wrap-up of this game quickly, and then we'll restart the stream with the Sharks versus Western Province. And I might have to change shirts depending on what's going on there. And he misses it. So just the 5 points at the moment, but first blood to the Bulls. And they haven't had a lot of possession, actually, so they'll take heart of the fact that when they did get a bit of possession, they did have some momentum. They actually managed to turn it into points. So credit to the Bulls. Right, so now the big thing for the Bulls will be to try and retain the kickoff and clear themselves back down there, because that's always an issue sometimes with some teams. Albert Lowe once again asked to carry. Hey, people, you can't just make a hit. You actually have to tackle them as well. Well, they've lost the safety of the 22. That won't find touch. It's a very good. And we've got a penalty for in front of the kicker. So that is, you see, this is what we're talking about. So that's discipline. The Bulls have just conceded a penalty within the 22 for in front of the kicker. And Alton Yankees goes and puts that into touch. And now the Lions can strike right back. And this is what I mean by being able to retain your kickoff and get yourself out of trouble is as important as scoring the points themselves. Because if you go, it's actually for obstruction. I mean, there's no points. If you go and score the points and then you can't take the kickoff back and you concede points, then what's the point? But now the Lions will have a chance to have more on the 5 meter. Right, so first of all, win the line out. Check. Set them all. Come now. Big shove, big shove, big shove, big shove. Yes, there we go. That's a bit of momentum. We've got to stay inside, though. We've got to stay inside. Being forced towards the touchline. We've got the advantage. No, man, it's a terrible pass, you pillocks. Okay, so another penalty here. Another line out. Let's move. Let's get some points on the board. Right, so once again, round 2. Let's try this again. First of all, so short line out by Steve. Now, why would you do that? So electing not to take them all. They went short and Steve's totally bring it up. But now they reckon they can do it. That'll be held up, I'm sure. Right, that's held up. So it'll be a 5 meter scrum. Interesting tactic that's turned down the maul. Look, I suppose they've had 2 mauls. They didn't really get too much dominance. So switching up's not the worst idea. Yanni du Plessis was pushed over the line eventually, but was held up relatively easily. So there will be a 5 meter scrum. So the second scrum of the day. And we've got some more blood here. That looks like Albert Lowe. Yeah, so Albert Lowe going off with a bit of a cut. So that's 2 players. I don't think Marco had some to return from the blood bin just yet. So that's 2 players down. And we have got time off. Yanni du Plessis is down, getting a bit of ice on the neck. So we are 40, 48. In fact, is the clock. So let me sort that out. Right, so scrum. So yeah, I mean, look, the first scrum was pretty solid. So I think at this stage, all the lines will want is a bit of a platform, and then once you've got that platform, you give the ball to one to see the similarity, and you ask him to do what he does best: try and dissect this Bulls defense. And you gotta be, to be fair, even when he comes back on, you've got to be targeting Marco Jansen Furen and Morris Porquita because they've played the least amount of rugby at outside centre. Whereas Stefan Kans has been very, very much the norm in that outside centre position. So I was correct, it was actually Kabbalah who was the injury there. I got that one slightly wrong. So change the hooker, change it outside centre. Kabbalah is on the field for Skalk Erasmus, who was the one that had a bit of a blood bin. No, unfortunately, I can't show you the match. That is against copyright, so unfortunately, this is the next best thing. But we'll have a live scorecard and the timer, so we'll know exactly what's happening in terms of the game and the score and stuff like that. I'd love to be able to show it to you. Unfortunately, as I said, it's against copyright. So, but yeah, that's frustration is the fact that so many people just can't watch the game unless you have a very expensive DSC package. But hopefully, this is the next best thing we can do for you. Right, big opportunity for the Lions. Come, let's get some points on the board. Another reset. Sharks versus Province. I went Sharks by 7, I think. Jack, I reckon that, well, Province got the better side, in my opinion, on paper, but I don't know, it'll just be such a Western Province thing to do, to choke in the semi-finals. They just haven't been able to win the big games lately, so. But yeah, we could go either way. I think both games should be quite close. Right, come, big opportunity here. Board of resets. Let's get some running going here. This looks like a better set. Oh, and it's even. Hey, there's not a single. Now use it, Warner. Use it. No, you see, that's the stupid thing. You had the opportunity to use it, you didn't, and you're not conceding a penalty. Oh, that's frustrating. There was no scrum dominance there. Get the bloody ball out. The Bulls win a penalty on the. Oh, it's a huge penalty. Lisa Gobolka standing up and claiming that one, but it was just frustrating because we had the opportunity to get the ball out and actually go for it. Jack saying, is there a free rugby channel? Is it coming? Yeah, we will try and set it up as well. At the moment, we're keeping it all on one channel at the moment. And as it grows, we'll start to diversify, especially when we start having things like games, cricket games and rugby games all at the same time. Try and expand the team a bit and try and have various live watch-alongs and stuff like that all over the place. And Statement say, why is Hunt's out? He has a hamstring strain. So I think you had to pass a late fitness test from the sounds of it and you didn't pass it. So that's why Marco Jansen from Furen has started. Van Berg says, Lakabulla. So we've got another Bulls fan in the comments. Good time to be a Bulls fan. It's got a bit of momentum here. A huge scrum win with the Lions on the 5. And then they won a penalty from the line out. And now they got up to the halfway line. Meanwhile, Yanni Duplessis is actually off. And Carly Sardi's on. Marco Jansen from Furen is back on. Which means Porquita is off. So I'm not sure what's wrong with Yanni Duplessis. Let's hope that's a bit of a concussion. That's not him up for the game. First time we've seen Cornel Hendricks who hit the line with speed. There's always an overlap. Why is it always... Drop it! He must have been out. Surely. There it is. There it is. Very well played. Vincent Tuka with the steal there. What a player he's becoming for the Lions. Bulls over the Lions, bit of scramble defense, and Chatuka saw opportunity, went over there, won it on the ground. Van der Berg all the way from America. There we go. We're international. Yes, 20 minutes in, 5-0. Quite a close game so far. Will the live stream be uploaded to the channel afterwards? Yeah, they'll automatically be saved, so they'll always be there. As soon as we end, then they'll already be on the channel. Thankfully, nowadays it doesn't take too long to process them. All the way from Jakarta. I tell you, we're cross-continental, yeah, across 3 different continents. So let me know where you're watching from. This is the cool part about YouTube, is that we get to watch rugby with people from all over the world. I mean, how cool is that concept? Even when you're watching alone, you can just jump in the chat, and we can just chat rugby. Office in Cape Town, always on the ground, Jack. Always on the ground. Working on Saturdays, we like to hear. We're having a bit of a water break here, which means I'll probably stop the timer. It is very hot up here, I'm not gonna lie, so I can go with a water break. But I probably should have been just broadcasting from the pool. Would have made life a lot easier. Okay, so water break here. 5-0 is the score. So I think we'll start with the Lions penalty on the halfway line. And look, it's been pretty 50-50. The Lions have had probably the more of the bulk of the possession. Territory is pretty 50-50 as well. Lions with a decent chance in deep in the Bulls' half, but the Bulls winning some important penalties, firstly at the scrum and then at the line afterwards. But yeah, look, it's been a pretty open game. We haven't seen too much of the back line really getting into it yet. We saw a nice run there by Cornwall Hendricks. But I think the Lions are wanting to get their centers into the game. You've got to get one to Silas Milani into the game. You've got to get Courtnall Kassan into some space. The Bulls with that pack will probably want to keep it more tight, to be honest. There we go. We've got Cape Town, we've got East London, we've got Indonesia, we've got America. We're everywhere. Alton Yankees barking out the orders. He'll be very important for the Lions today. I said in the preview, if the Lions were to win this game, chances are it'll be because he has a good game. Almost equally so as Dwayne Vermeulen. He's been quite quiet so far, but never underestimate just the presence he has on the team itself and how important having someone who's been there and done that for so many years in and around that setup. Right, so let me fix the clock. We are 19 minutes 26 seconds in over here. Penalty count so far, it's pretty even as well. The last 7 penalties were 2. I mean, the penalty count over the games: two Lions, 2 Bulls, 2 Lions, 1 Bull. So yeah, it's 4 penalties to the Lions, 3 points to the Bulls. As I said, it's pretty even, to be honest. It's been very little to actually separate the sides so far. Okay, so we're going to start back with a line out. Lions line after the penalty. Good catch there by Emma Sane. And Carlu started. Oh, there we go. Sit down. Mark up and started. Now they're going down the blind side. Stian Pino gets a chance to run. He's well met by Curtly Aronser. Villemals versus Mornestein. You should always be making ground there. Come. Good momentum here. Man, you left the ball behind. Well, was some good momentum. Alton Yankees left the ball behind, so we've gone back to the 10, but still got possession. So now we need to start again. Willem Alberts will always get you meters. Doesn't matter what sort of carry it is. Man. Execution. Alton Yankees just showing a bit of a loose ball, which hit Vince Shatuka, and now it is a knock-on, so we will have a bull scrum. That's the problem with the Lions. Looking promising, and then just a couple of basic errors. Yeah, you can see a bit of miscommunication there. I mean, Vince Tuchel almost looked like he did want the ball, but the pass, I mean, you can see by the weight of the pass, definitely wasn't supposed to be to him. Kevin Z, with the Pima Dianti fighting his 4-year ban down, any thoughts? I think 2 years is fair, especially how short some rugby careers can be. Well, I think the fact that he's actually fighting it and he's trying to appeal the decision means they reckon they've got a very strong case. And they said so when the decision came out. They said they couldn't understand how the decision came out. So, I mean, I struggle to comment when you don't know the entire situation. But yeah, I mean, it's difficult. I mean, you don't know what I mean, I'd like to have more details of the case itself, because I mean, look, morally you can never justify it unless he did take every single precaution and it was just an honest mistake. From a rugby point of view, I'd like to see him back on the field. So I mean, 2 years means he'll be back this year. He'll be back in August. which would be, I mean, from a rugby point of view, it'll be so nice to see him back on the field. He's such a watchable player. But I don't know. It's difficult to make a comment when you don't know the situation. If it was a genuine mistake and he had absolutely no part to play in it, then get him back on the rugby field. If he had any sort of knowledge of what he was doing, then he deserves the ban. But the fact that he's appealed it, it means he must know, or they must really back themselves, or they really do think he's guilty. But I mean, look, it's not. I mean, it is the first offence. It's not quite old Chili Boy, who I think had 3 offences by the end of it. So we have to wait and see. Another reasonable, I mean, long break here, which doesn't help. I mean, the Lions trying to up the tempo here, and we've now had a water break. We've had a couple of injury breaks. Now got Vincent Tuka, who looks like he needs to change his jersey because he's got blood in his jersey. And this is why they're talking about the fact that like an 18-minute rugby game takes so long, and even there you're looking at like, I think it was like 30 minutes of actual playing time if you're lucky. And the Currie Cup has been even worse than the sort of average for Super Rugby, which is a bit of a problem. They need to change that. If they send, do you have enough water? Listen, it is very hot up here. There's a reason they're having water breaks, and it's just as hot as here in the studio, which doesn't help. But yeah, I would love to be popping open some beers, but yeah, we'll have to wait for that one. In fact, I think I might actually have a few couple. Maybe we'll break out a couple of cold ones for the Sharks Western Province game. Hopefully, there'll be some celebratory beers here. Right, so Vincent Tuka's now wearing the number 1. Well, I suppose it's close enough to a 7, so we'll roll with it. I mean, how does that shirt fit him? I mean, can you imagine Stephen Kitsoff just handing his jersey to? I mean, we use this. I suppose to be fair, I mean, the toy is huge, so. But I mean, back in the day, I mean, you think of people like Oosterrand. I'm telling you right now, Oosterrand's jersey wouldn't have fitted Jean Smith or something like that. But hey, we finally got game going. We can get the clock back on, and we can get back to it. So it's a bull scrum in their own half. But just 5 points so far. So not much to separate the two sides. And we're up to 74 watching. So thank you very much, everybody tuning in. Please do smash a like down the bottom right-hand corner there. We are trying to push for 500 subscribers. I think we need about 15 people. So yeah, if a third of you subscribe to the channel, less than a third of you subscribe to the channel, we'll be well over the 500 mark, which is the goal for the day. Right, let's go. Come, enough recess. Let's get going. Let's get going. That's a better scrum from the Lions. That's a better scrum from the Lions. Bulls get it out, but it's a bit sloppy. It's a good pickup, though, from Cornel Hendricks. Come now, come now, come now. Okay, so the turnover there by the Bulls, but there was then holding on. So Lions will get the penalty after turning over the ball. Looked pretty, I mean, you can see, and this is what the Lions, as soon as they get the ball, busy trying to up the tempo of the game. I think that'll be the, I mean, look, it's going to be the same thing with the Sharks versus Western Province. Where you're going to have one side that's going to try and slow it down, take the set pieces, play a very sort of test match approach, and the other side trying to up the tempo. So Lions trying to up the tempo, just like I'm sure the Sharks will try and do later. But the Bulls will be very happy to just go from set piece to set piece. Okay, so we've got a line out here for the Lions just by the 22. You need to score some points. You need to score some points. If you can try and get a penalty here, try and score a try and go into half-time a bit closer. You need to close the gap here. Yeah, we have to change the jersey of Vince Tuka, but he is going, and here we go. We start with a line out here. So interesting to see. They've tried the rolling more, didn't really work. And now we're going into the midfield. He's back on the field. He'll carry that up. Okay, on the 22, Lions will try and spread it here. Similani coming. Let's get to Oscar Sun. Yakuil out on the wing. Stay inside. Ah, it's been ripped in the tackle. And then charged down. Right, so we'll have a line out here for the Bulls. So the line's going a bit sort of side to side at the moment. I'm starting to kind of find a gap. But I suppose that's a testament to the Bulls' defense. So we're going to have a Lions line out where the Bulls, Yakuil came into a challenge with Curtie Orange. So ball ripped in the tackle. And then yeah, Ivan Patel trying to clear down the field and he gets charged down. So it will be a Bulls line out. Well, have they got the option of the scrum? They do have an option of the scrum. So we will have a scrum, in fact, on the 22-meter for the Bulls. About 5 meters from the touch line. Okay, so still not much to separate the two sides when it comes to the scrum so far. Bulls have won a penalty, however, from the scrum. Lions did have a bit of scrum last time, though, and that's an early... No, it's gone straight down. Yeah, it's an early push. Penalty to the Bulls. And I think that's just the Lions pushing too early, which is a basic error. So this is the problem. Discipline will cost you in the semi-finals. Now, this is now the Lions... But the second or third time where they've got down to the Bulls' half, and they've had the opportunities and they haven't taken them. And that's the reason why there's 5 points separating. Look, now the Bulls will get up to the halfway line, and the Bulls will restart with a line out. It's frustrating because the Lions have had a lot of possession, probably more possession than the Bulls, to be honest, but just haven't been clinical enough. Oh, that didn't look straight. Okay, so the Bulls trying to set up a rolling more here. Haven't got much momentum. Not really moving. We're right by the touchline here. I haven't heard much from Ruster, but they eventually use it. Now Morningstar lifts it up to the skies. It'll be a big test here. Corner Kusana under it. Very nice take. Ducks underneath the tackle. No, man, just hold on to the ball. It's not hard. Okay, lock on there from the Lions. I mean, he does everything right. Goes up, catches the ball, comes down, misses the tackle, makes some yards. But just hold on to the ball. I mean, it's a great take. He does everything right. And then on the floor, trying to pop it up. And it's too low for anyone. And Yankees coming here to secure the ball as opposed to catch the pop pass. I think the Lions need to slow things down a little bit. Just be patient. It'll come. The opportunities will come. Patience. Are you sporting or commentating? Well, it isn't commentary. It's a watch along. So the concept is to everybody watch the game and chat about the game itself. This is a fan channel, not a commentary site. So that is the concept. Hence why there's no neutrality. Another stoppage in play here. And we'll restart with a Bulls scrum, which will fail. It's in a good position. So a penalty here means that they will have a nice opportunity to kick for goal. So it's a very important scrum here for the Lions. They can't afford to give away a penalty. Otherwise, this will be easy points. That's a big scrum from the Bulls there. The arms goes up. This will be 3 points here. Pretty poor pass there from Morris He does round around, puts the dab through. It'll be collected, and they'll go back for the penalty. Yep. So exactly what the Lions didn't need. Huge scrum from the Bulls. Kind of shove came in there big time, and this would be a pretty rudimentary kick for Mornestein. Dwayne Fernandez asked you for the scrum there. Yeah, so going back towards the scrum penalty there. And they'll go for poles, and this doesn't get much easier for Mornestein, to be honest. Okay, so penalty here for the Bulls on the scrum itself. There was also an offside penalty. But Mornestein will now kick from about the middle of the park. Probably about a 40-meter kick, I reckon. So there should be 8-0. There should be no issue here for Mornestein. And no issues there. He adds the 3 extras. 8-0, 28 minutes to go. Well, 28 minutes gone, rather. And Bulls in the driving seat. Lions need to score here. I mean, they've had a bit of chance, opportunity, but the problem is the Bulls, well, the problem for the Lions is every time the Bulls get into the half, they're making it count. And I think that's the issue. The Lions have had their opportunities, but haven't made them count just yet. So they need to try and get some points of their own. But with 10 minutes to go, Alton Yankees will restart once again. Right, going to the right-hand side now. Dwayne Vermeulen underneath the ball there. And as usual, no issues with him. Ivan van Sale. And that's Marvin Ory doing what Marvin Ory does. He concedes a penalty for foul play. I'm not quite sure what it's for, but that sounds like Marvin Ory, to be honest. I mean, it's such a frustrating player because he's got everything he needs to be a very good player, but just discipline costs him all the time. And now Mornestein will kick it up to... That's a brilliant kick. He's found touch well in the Lions half. And that's Marvin Ory. That's all on you, chap. Yeah, I think it's judged to be a high tackle. It's not the worst tackle. It is high, though. And the Bulls will have a line of jeepers just by the 22 meters. So this is another big opportunity for the Bulls to add points. And as you can see, if you look at the penalty count here, we've got the last 3 off from the Lions in the 25th, 28th, and 30th minute. And that's where it's going wrong at the moment. It's just discipline starting to cost them a little bit. If the Bulls score here, then it starts to become a bit of a mountain to climb. Short line out there from the Bulls. But it's not straight. So that's a bit of a let-off there. And yeah, it was a bit of weird. Pretty much hadn't even waited for the line-out to really form. And they've gone short to leave at Walker, but it's definitely skew. And the Lions will now have a scrum. And the Lions need to recycle this quickly. Can't afford to have a penalty here. Right, hopefully no resets. Here we go. Scrum about 5 meters off the 22 on the right-hand side, and we're going to have a reset. Of course, we're going to have a reset. Carly Sardi is back on for Yanni Duplessis, by the way. Whatever the injury was, came on, but obviously couldn't continue. But I don't think it's a bad thing. I mean, Carly Sardi is a very, very talented player. It was a huge coup that the Lions managed to get him from the Western Province. But let's now try and actually get a scrum going and get this game moving. And that's a penalty to the Lions, actually. They went straight down, and Russell took a while to make that call, but he's given a penalty to the Lions. And that's only Lisa Walker for having his elbow down on the ground. So that's a big let-off for the Lions. And now Alton Yankees will kick up to the about the 10-meter line. But this is it. 8 minutes left to go. Big chance for the Lions to get some points here. And yeah, you can see Walker's elbow just comes down there. It's actually rewarded by the line judge because Rust was on the other side. So it's a big moment for the Lions to actually win a scrum penalty. They've been under the cosh a little bit. They've been holding firm, but just sometimes slipping a bit there. But it's been a good scrum battle so far. Now, Yakovasaki, first things first, you need to find your man. This is going Len Massane or Marvin Ori, I reckon. Goes to Willem Alberts in the front there. And they're going to get the midfield straight into it. Andre Warner takes it himself. Makes a few meters there. No, man. Tian Swanepoel spills it forward. He's trying to come at pace, but looks up as he gets the ball and knocks it on. Now the Bulls will have an opportunity to go. There's a knock-on advantage, which should now fall away. Up, Stain kicks it deep. And Stian Pino's underneath. That's a very good take. No, Stian Swanepoel. No, man, the ball's spilled out, man. They've got another knock-on advantage here. The Bulls have got retained possession inside their own half, and nobody can catch a ball at the moment. And eventually they'll come back for the scrum inside the Lions' half. So that's frustrating by the Lions. Once again, execution. Stian Swanepoel is down following that kick take. I mean, I'm trying to understand what's going on. Okay, yeah, it looks like he's just winded there. So, yeah, I mean, frustrating. It was a decent take by Tian Swanepoel, but then as he came down to the ground, just the ball sort of squished out on the side. So that's what the knock-on's for. It's a good tackle there by Currie Cup. And then the knock-on by Andrew Warner. And then he ran from Sale, pretty much is trying to pass it, gets pulled up to the side. So it's all a bit of a mess. We're going to restart with the Bull scrum is the main thing. And Tian Swanepoel doesn't look particularly happy yet, actually, which would be a big blow for the Lions. Because you're going to lose that boot, which has been so important and so used the entire tournament. So for the Lions' sake, he needs to make sure he's all right, because that boot of his has become in handy the entire tournament. Anything people watching, please do smash a like on the video. We're trying to hit up to 20 likes before half time. Also, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please make sure you do that as well. Trying to hit 500 subscribers by the end of the day. If you've got another break in play whilst Tian Swanepoel receives some attention. So he caught the ball there. Curly Orange is on him quite quickly. Does fall quite awkwardly. It looks like it's probably a problem with his ribs. Yeah, so I think he's winded. I mean, he just didn't manage to sort his arms out during the challenge. But hopefully we'll have him back up and playing in no time. In terms of the bench, we've got the likes of Dan Creel and Morty van den Berg. So not a lot of options for the bench, to be honest. But it does look like he'll continue, which is a big win. So, Bull scrum on the Lions 10 meter at the moment. 6 minutes to play. 8-0 the score. And lo and behold, we have another reset. If you're in South Africa, DSTV is obviously showing it on SuperSport. SuperSport Grandstand is the channel I'm watching on. I don't know if it's on SuperSport Rugby as well. If you're overseas, I can't really help you. If you're in the UK, I know that Sky Sports is showing it on YouTube. Apart from that, I don't know. But I don't think there's any free way to go and watch it, unfortunately. So if there is, and it's legal, jump in the comments and let me know. Right, another reset here. 5 minutes to go. Come on, the Lions. Let's try and do something here, people. Cynthia Sampson, another Bull supporter. She says, come on, Bulls. Oh, they've got... Oh, I'm not so sure about... Yeah, I was about to say, on the other side there, Javon Yakani guilty of going down there. And it looked like he'd gone down before Steve. And the Lions do win the penalty. So that's a big let off. Come, 5 minutes to go. Kick it into the half. Don't drop the bloody ball. Let's get some points. Let's try and make a game of this. There's no way Tian Swanepoel slotting this. Not a chance. Yeah, he's going to kick for touch. And we know we've got a 62, 65 meter kick, but this is definitely a lot bigger than that. So let's see what he can do. Okay, so up to the 22 meters. So yeah, I mean, at this stage, the Lions need to take any points, whether it's a 3-pointer, whether it's a try, we'll take absolutely anything. Anton, as far as I know, they're only showing the game on YouTube in the UK. I think it's Sky Sports is doing it, so it'll be blocked in South Africa due to the various rights deals and stuff like that. Okay, first of all, one line out, check. Try and start establishing more, but it looks like he's come down. It's not going anywhere. Get the ball out. Get the ball out. There we go. All right, Erdendal wraps around there. That's a good line there by Tian Swanepoel. Come, there's space. Okay, well held. Ah, come on. Okay, penalty to the Bulls then. Just protect the man on the ground. It's not hard. And this is the problem, is that it's just not good enough. And they've taken a quick kick early. They found that's a great touch found. I don't know who made the kick there. The TV crew's busy trying to catch up. But this is the problem. I mean, it's Markov and Starden for a start, which doesn't help. But the Lions spreading it wide, creating a bit of overlap, creating some space. But Alton Yankee was found on the ground with just him and Markov and Starden. And when you're on the ground, Markov and Starden's anywhere near, just start dropping 10 for the penalty, because that's what he does. The Bulls, on the other hand, have found their way into the 22 meters. So with 3 minutes to go, a big chance for them to try and put points on the board and go into halftime well in control, which is the Lions fan, the last thing we need. Oh, that was eventually a very good take from Sintu Manjezi. So it wasn't a great one from Skalk Erasmus. Good to see Sintu Manjezi getting some game. No, they're about to say that was a great read. Bulls go down the blind side through Shavino Jacobs. There was nobody there. Eventually managed to bring him down. Ronald Hendricks, he sees some space. He busts through. Oh my goodness, he's playing well at the moment. Bulls on the front foot here. They go wide again. Currie Aronsa. He matches up, but Tian Swanepoel does make the tackle. Momentum all with the Bulls at the moment. Rion Nokia. And that's popped out. There we go. Another ball. The Lions try and counter. Kick it. I said kick it. No, you see. Oh, Tian Swanepoel. The Lions managed to counter-attack there. The Bulls went from the side, and they play the hands, and then Tian Swanepoel just guilty of carrying with one hand, and he drops the ball, and that'll be a Bulls scrum. And this is the problem. I mean, Tian Swanepoel, in terms of kicking, has been brilliant for the Lions. Cannot fault him. But sometimes just a couple of small errors, and that's the second or third time he's lost the ball forward just in this game. I think the best option there would have been to kick the ball forward, and then back Courtney Oscar-San, back your pace. But now we're going to have a bull scrum inside the Lions half, and that was pretty much the Lions' last chance of actually getting points on the ball. You can see, I mean, you've got Similane, you've got Courtney Oscar-San, and you've got Tian Swanepoel. Kick the ball ahead and back your pace. I think that's the second time Currie Aronsa has ripped the ball. He's actually been very good in terms of tackling, of always going for the ball and trying to force the knock on there. So credit to him, he's been very good. Right, another scrum time here. Lions have won the last 2 scrum penalties, I think. So maybe a bit of a momentum shift here, but a big opportunity late in the half. It will be time to go and have a line out if we do win a penalty. That looks like a much better set from the Bulls. And there they come through. It's coming to the side. And they've got an advantage. And there's another offside there. So it's a well taken by Tian Swanepoel, but they'll go back for the penalty. And okay, so I mean, the clock is pretty much up. Okay, so the siren has gone. So the Bulls will either kick and try and go for some points, or they can try and go, oh, well, they're going for the penalty inside. Alton Yankee's coming offside early there, which will give them a kickable position. So Morningstar will have a shot at goal to try and wrap the half up, and if he gets it, they'll go into the half-time 11-0, which is Not out one or two out front. I mean, it's not unachievable to try and chase that down, but it is a bit of a mountain. How will we be live for the next game? We will. We'll be doing a quick wrap up of this game, and then we'll be back live at just before 4:30 for the Shark Western Province. The first time those two will actually finally play each other this season. So very interesting to see what happens in that game. Right, Morne Stadium, 1 from 2 so far. It's a fairly easy kick. You shouldn't have any issues here. Yep, and that's straight through the pole. So 11-0 is the halftime score. Bulls, far more clinical. Lions with the opportunities, but need to find a way to score some points. So, an interesting half. Let me know what you thought of the half down below. Lions definitely not out of it, but Bulls definitely in the driving position at the moment. Look, I think for the Lions, it's just a case of being a bit more clinical, being a bit more patient. You know, they've had their opportunities, but sometimes in trying to get the game, to try and speed up the pace of the game and try and sort of stamp their authority, they've been guilty of just knocking the ball on too easily. I'm going to try to put up some stats so we can talk about what's going on there. Just need to wait for it to update. Let's turn down our turn, shall we? Right, let's try and get some full-time predictions here at half-time. So jump in the chat there. Let me know what you think is going to be the full-time score. Who will take the first place in the in the final next weekend? Assuming it is next weekend. Well, Rassi Rasmus pretty much said that the final will be within the next, well, if it is not next week Saturday, it'll be Sunday or Monday, and he wants to get this done as soon as possible so there's enough of a break before the Rainbow Cup starts. That'll be a lot of fun. It'll be quite cool to start doing streams here against, you know, Scarlets and Munster and Edinburgh and all the European sides. So that should be quite a lot of fun in the coming months. Also got Six Nations coming up. So thinking about covering that, let me know if you'd like to see that in the comments below. Also do smash like. We're trying to get up to 20 by half time, so just 3 more. So if 3 people watching here can smash a like and get us up to 20, I'd appreciate that a lot. Right, and the stats are just updating, and then we'll go and look at what's happening now and see stats-wise what some big players are. I mean, from memory, I think Currie Cup has been very good. Wanted to see the similarities, had his opportunities, just hasn't quite managed to get going. I think Tian Swanepoel's been a bit disappointing with ball in hand, to be honest. Alton Yankees also has been quiet, so we need to get, well, the forwards will need to try and get some go-forward ball, but the Lions' strength is in their backline, and they need to get that backline firing. Cody van den Berg says Bulls 34-7 to the line. Well, Bulls 34, Lions 7. So, what? So you've seen a couple of tries by the Bulls and at least 1 try by the Lions. Hoping a bit more than 1 try by the Lions, but it's not a bad shot with the way it's going. Bulls just do look so much more clinical. Right, so we've got some stats from the first half. So, possession, 44% for the Bulls, 56% for the Lions. So this is what I'm saying. The Lions have had more possession, just haven't been able to do anything with it. No defenders beaten from either side. Look, this is all from Rugby Pass, so it could be wrong. It sometimes has taken them a while for their stats to really update properly. But this is based on what they are now. So, that, for example, defenders beaten, I'm pretty sure there's been 1 at least on either side. Team breaks, 1 each apparently. Offloads, 3 for the Bulls, 3 for the Lions. Turnovers conceded, 6 for the Bulls, 11 for the Lions. That sounds about right. The Lions have been guilty of not protecting the possession particularly well. This is definitely wrong because they did say there were more missed tackles, but the Lions apparently have made 38 tackles and missed 11, and that's the problem. You can't win a game when you're missing one every 5 tackles. It's a very poor tackle success rate, so that needs to change. Turnovers 1, Bulls 3, Lions 1. This is the problem. The Bulls are just winning the small battles. You know, they're winning the defensive battle. They're winning the scrum, well, important scrums. Rucks percent 1, 41% for the Bulls, 52% for the Lions. Mauls are 3 each, apparently. Set plays. The Bulls have lost 2 lineouts. The Lions haven't lost 1. But the Bulls have won 5 scrums to the Lions 1. Each lost 1 scrum. And then discipline-wise, 9 penalties conceded by the Lions, 6 by the Bulls. So that is also an issue. Discipline, discipline, discipline. The Lions are not going to win this game if they continue conceding that many penalties, especially in the danger areas. You know, I mean, that's 2 penalties kicked from the Bulls. So take away that 6 points and it's a 5-point game. I mean, that's 1 try and you're back in it. So, yeah, so in terms of predictions, we've got a 34-7 to the Bulls. We've got Bulls by 10. We've got a Bulls 23, Lions 15. It's quite a nice close game there. And then Patricia says, go Bulls all the way. We also have 20 likes. Thank you very much who did like it. We're up to 95 people watching, which is really cool. I think the most we've ever had watching live has been 110. So it will be great if we can try and break that towards the last stages of the game. But a big 40 minutes ahead of us, and then another big semi-final. So back-to-back rugby on a Saturday afternoon. This is what we love to see. Very weird, though, watching Currie Cup playoff rugby in January. Usually we were about to have our, we had, those superhero Saturdays. But changing times, changing competitions, we have to adapt. And then we're going to get ready for the Rainbow Cup, which is going to be quite exciting. And we need 7 more subscribers to hit 500. So if you haven't subscribed, please do. Let's try and get up to 500 by the end of the game, which will be really, really cool. Very, very warm day in Gauteng and in Pretoria. So there we go. There are the stats the official stats. The handling errors 9 by the Lions. 9 handling errors to 0 by the Bulls. I mean, that just sums it up, doesn't it? You cannot win a game with 9 handling errors. Turnovers conceded 2 from the Lions, 1 from the Bulls. 9-6, that's correct. Tackles made. Tackles missed 8 by the Lions. Yeah, so this is about right, to be fair. Possession 49% Bulls, 51% for the Lions. But territory 39% Bulls, 61%. So the Lions having the bulk of the territory. Possession is very even at the moment. There's not much to separate the side, but you see the Lions discipline. Too many penalties, too many knock-ons, too many breakdowns that they're losing. So it's just those small parts that you have to clean up if you want to try and get back into the game. For the Bulls, it's a case of keep doing what you're doing. You know, if they're going to get points every time they get into the half, then they'll win the game, and they've been very good at that. And that's what the Bulls have done all season. To be fair, hasn't always necessarily been a free-flowing, full of attacking and very watchable matches all the time. But the Bulls are very good at making their opportunities count. And I think that's what's going to win them trophies, is that even if you're not necessarily dominating the game or dominating all the various stats, if you are winning the small battles, then you know you can win matches. It's all about getting points, you know, and especially when it gets to playoff rugby, then it gets to test match stages. Take the points on offer and just keep doing that. Keep plugging away. PJ Vandenberg says Bulls 25, Lions 12. Even as a neutral, I'm not a neutral, but even the neutrals will agree, it'll be good to see the Lions try and score first in the second half. Let's try and make a game of it. At the end of the day, no matter what sort of affiliation is, close games, especially in playoff games, that's what we live to see. That's what makes sport very watchable and lots of fun. So let's hope for a close game. So hopefully the Lions come out firing and try and score some points and try and make it a close game. There have been some people saying that these two teams have been the best in the competition, which log-wise is incorrect because the Sharks and the Western Province have won more than the Lions. But, I mean, with games being cancelled and stuff like that, the Lions have had some very impressive performances. Having managed to be able to do it against the Bulls, but they did beat the Western Province. They did beat the Sharks. So, yeah, look, I mean, the Western Province should be competing or should be doing a lot better. I mean, it must be so frustrating as a Western Province supporter, seeing a side with so many good players and so much talent. Sometimes just, you can't really put your finger on what the issue is, but just not always playing to the highest ability. And then you've got the Sharks, who've been quite inconsistent. I mean, on their day, they're the best side in the country, and we saw that in Super Rugby. But, yeah, I mean, they're starting to get a bit better, but they've had moments in the Currie Cup where they've been phenomenal, and they've had moments where they've been very, very average. No, unfortunately, we can't show the game. As you said before, it is against copyright. So if you're in South Africa, DSTV Now or DSTV is your best bet. If you're overseas, I'm not sure what the broadcasters are. You can watch on Sky Sports and YouTube, I think. Steve Van den Berg said, I hope it's a very close and exciting game. I watched the Bulls and Lions final. Look, the Bulls and Lions there's just always drama. You know, the Yuxke Derby, and it's been interesting if you look at the past couple of years. I think the last 5 games at Loftus has been 3 Bulls wins and 2 Lions wins, but it's always usually a high-scoring affair. So this has actually been quite an uncharacteristic game in terms of the scoreline, because it's usually very high-scoring. Damien Jeffter says Bulls win by 10 plus points. So Bulls definitely being backed to be the winners at the end. I also think we've got more Bulls fans than we do Lions fans in the comments, which doesn't help my Lions credentials. So if you're a Lions fan, please jump in the comments and help me out here. Right, a couple of interviews there, and we should have kickoff for the second half very shortly. Yeah, Warren White, talking about the discipline. As we said, that has been what has been letting down the line. So if they can fix that, there's no reason they can't go on to win this game. I feel like that's the Lions story. Lions very, very rarely, will sit there with like 20% possession, 25% possession. Lions often have a lot of ball and a lot of opportunities, but it always comes down to the execution. And that can sometimes just be an on-the-day thing. When the Lions get the execution right, that's when they can put on big scores. But when they're sloppy, and they can be very sloppy, then you get games like this where, despite maybe having more possession and more territory, they haven't been able to score any points. The Bulls, on the other hand, are quite the opposite. They'll have days where they'll play free-flowing, very, very nice, attractive rugby and score lots of tries. But even on their off days, when they don't necessarily have that, when they have a bit of a slower sort of start to games and a bit less expansive, they still find ways to score points. And that's what makes them so effective as a side. And that's what makes champion sides, is the ability to play averagely or poorly, or maybe not play your best, but the term being able to win ugly. That's the mark of champions. If you can play badly and still get wins, if you can play below your standards and still get wins, that's how you win trophies. And you see that across all sporting leagues across the world. You look at the Springboks, lost against New Zealand and went on to win the World Cup. You can have bad games, and the important thing is, even when you have a bad game, be able to find some way to win it. I think that's where the other unions need to learn. I think that the Sharks, Western Province, even the Lions, don't have the same ability to be able to win ugly, as per se, to be able to play poorly and still find ways of scoring points. Right, players coming back on the field, so we should have kickoff very, very shortly. So the last few seconds to get your score predictions in. We've gone with, we said Lions by 5 at the beginning of the game. That's what I was hoping for. Most of the comments seem to be back in the Bulls. So let's see. In terms of impressive players, Cornell Hendricks has been very good in the Bulls backline, as has Currie Orange. Stravino Jacobs is the player who got the try. Hasn't seen too much of him. He's seen quite a lot of Cornell Hendricks. He's been carrying the ball up very well. Mornay Staines been controlling the game reasonably well. Haven't seen anything of David Creel, really. For the Lions, yeah, haven't seen enough of the centers, I don't think. Or the wings, really. Steon Pienaar's really been doing most of the cleanup work and defensively. He hasn't had an opportunity to run. And Courtney Oscar-Son, we've got such a lethal finisher, got to get him into space more. Jean-Pierre is saying Bulls 35, Lions 9. I just think the Bulls should play to enjoy it, and win or lose, it's fine like that, but I hope they win. Look, I don't think that's in Jake White's nature. He's very much a you play to win and you make sure you win type of character, which is why he's won so much. But I don't think he's ever going to compromise winning a game to try and play attractive rugby. I don't think it's really in his DNA. Let's get the timer going. And the Lions do manage to retain that. That's the first part done. Right, Alton Yankees looks to run it. Well, I'm not sure about those people. I'm trying to run up in their own half. I hate it when they do this. You see, that's the problem. Now we're going to turn over and they've got an overlap. Well done, Vincent Tuka. It's not looking good. Right, so Bulls now turning it over there up to the Lions 5 meter. A good tackle there. Vincent Tuka over that ball. He's been everywhere today. He's been probably the Lions' best player, to be honest. Marvin Ory, were you on side? No, you weren't. Marvin Ory, stop giving away penalties. Cornell Hendricks cuts inside. Vincent Satuka, appreciate you. Then Mustaines over there legally. But because Marvin Ory went offside, it's so obvious. Why do it, mate? He does it every time. And there we go. We're 1 minute in and you've just given them a free 3-pointer. Yeah, and of course they'll go for poles. Well, disaster start from the Lions, the perfect start from the Bulls. Lions decided to try and run it out of the 22, which I don't think was the best plan, to be honest. Kevin Yokani gets straight over there. Turns it over. I'm not sure it was completely legal, but some good hands. And then Marvin Ori, guilty of coming way offside, gives away a penalty right by the poles. Morning Stain's going to slot this, and they'll move into a 14-point lead. Now that starts becoming a mountain to climb. So the Lions will need to try and score quickly if they want to get back into this game. Right, so no points there. He slots that very easily, and they move up to 14-0. So not the best start for the Lions. Come now. Let's try and make a game of this. If you're going to lose a bit of style, lose a bit of the heart. Go and score some points. Make this a close game. Right, Mornay Stain gathers the kick, and he has plenty of time to just find touch. There. And they're going to take it quickly. They are indeed. So he goes inside to Cornels Kosan, who looks up. Similani, he won't kick it. He's going to try and have a run here. Closed down, but good counter. Well, good ruck there when the Lions managed to keep possession. Now we've got a bit of go for the ball. Udendas. No, man, it was too early. Draw the man and pass. Well taken, Cornels Kosan. Great hands there by Yakakrio. I thought he was going to go out, but no. Keepers, the hands here, people are dropping it backwards. Inside, outside. Right, so Similani gets up to about 22. He's very isolated though. The Lions have won it back. Urundar carries it up. Will try to get the ball away in the tackle. Just take it up yourself, Creel. You isolate. That's it. Come on, Yako. This is what the Lions want. Oh, Willem! My God! Willem Alberts with the pace. He goes over. Lions on the ball. That's what we want to see. Come on, game on. That was Lions. That's what Lions Rugby are all about. And that's why it's so difficult being a Lions supporter, because you have to watch. And it's always those fine lines where we had a couple of drops that were backwards, a couple of passes which were a little bit 50-50. But this is Oyako Creel, who went down the blind side, looked like he was going to go out, popped it back inside. A wonderful take by Cornels Kosan. And then Willem Alberts, he had nobody in front of him to begin with. And yeah, look, you're going to struggle to stop Willem Alberts at that pace, even if you're standing right in front of him. If you're trying to come from the side, you have no issues. But that's big for the Lions. Clinton Frankie's going Bulls 35-7. Right, well, the Lions could have 7, so that part of it could almost be, you could almost have your prediction half true. All right, first kick of the match for Alton Yankees. That's what I was saying. Yeah, you see, you just want a good game. I just want a good game. I don't mind. Well, obviously, I'm going to hate losing, but if I'm going to lose, make it close. Watching my team get thrashed, I've done that enough in my time as a Lions supporter. Cool, that sails straight over. 14-7, the Lions halve the gap. Marcel Muller says, dude, your stream is cut. Well, guess what, Marcel? You can leave if you don't like it, so sorry. I don't know what else you want me to say there, but if you don't like it, you can leave. I'm not paying you to watch it. I think you did leave. We dropped a subscriber. Right, well, we lost one, soldier. We'll carry on now, shall we? Right, 45 minutes. 14-7. Yeah, so they regained this kickoff, which is the big part here. And still, stop trying to run it from your own 22. This is what got us into trouble last time. Right, so we've got Frankie Horn for Yakakrio. I imagine that's an injury because I don't know why you would otherwise take out Yakakrio. Right, so eventually sanity prevails and Andrew Warner goes and kicks. It's not out. A good chase though. And Frankie Horn's on it. Come on. Come. Yes. Come on. There we go. Similani goes over. My guy. And we're back in it. Game on. 14-12. So it wasn't the best kick from Andre Warner, but it wasn't taken by the Bulls. And the bounce favored Frankie Horn, who has just come on. He gets it out to Wandisile Similani, who has the pace. He goes over 14-12, and we have a game on our hands. See, Shavina Jacobs just gets his jump completely wrong. Frankie Horn comes in there. And look, Wandisile Similani versus Wayne Vermeulen. There's only going to be one winner there. Game on. Here we go. Yeah, and you can see, I mean, it's good awareness there by Frankie Horn. He realized he had Wandisile Similani outside him, and, you know, loose forward versus a outside center, back the outside center. Right, so game on. Here we go. 14-14. Yeah, and you can see it means a lot to Wandisile. Someone who loves his rugby, but now it's a big moment. Right, Bulls fans, here we go. We're back. We're back. Let's see if we can take you to the 80. Yeah, so it wasn't the best restart from Cornels Kosan. He eventually manages to hold out, but Curly Owens is all over him and trying to counteract, knocks it on. So the Lions will have a defensive scrum here in the 22. Right, so a scrum here. It's a decent scrum by the Lions. Hey, just get that ball out. Just get that ball out. Just get that ball out. Okay, fine. Well, it's a penalty to the Lions, so we'll take that. The scrums have been very even. I must admit, it's quite difficult to call exactly what's going where, because both sides are holding up quite nicely. And look, both front rows seem to be popping up. So, look, it did have a bit more sort of dominance from the Bulls on the Lions side there, but scrums by no means a one-man game. Okay, so the Lions line out here, up towards the halfway line, just on the other side of the 10-meter. They go short to Steve Satole, who looks like he's been taken straight out. Oh, what was the point in that? Oh, goodness me. So they went short to Steve Satole, who was pretty much tackled straight out, and now Ria Bulls line out in pretty much the same place. So not the best moment there by the Lions, but yeah. Marcel Muller, I can't show you the game. That's illegal. So you either pay your DSTV or try and find some illegal stream. And unfortunately, you're not going to find an illegal stream on the channel. Is that Marvin Uri, who's been given a free kick for blooming complaining? He's been a disaster today, from penalties for offside to now a free kick there for, I don't know if it's numbers or what the issue was there. Yeah, so tapping up and under. Now, this is a huge chase from the Bulls. Stab through there from David Creel. Is that not a high tackle? Rasta! That was the same thing that was in the first half. That was, I think it was Cornels Kosan or Marvin Uri. Yeah, it's Marvin Uri and Dwayne Vermeulen. Same thing around the shoulder. It wasn't a high tackle. Keepers, that's Dwayne Vermeulen for you. He steamrolls over Jakob Asaki. Bulls in possession about the 10-meter. Now they're going to try and get... Oh, that's a Great take by David Creel. Not the best pass by Mornestein. So, Bulls been driven back to about the 10, well, up to halfway line. Trevor Newcombe doesn't get much go forward ball here. The Lions just suddenly look a lot more up for it, trying to come through there, concede a penalty, having said that. So, after all that, interesting call here from the Bulls. Does Mornestein have a 50-meter kick here forward, or are they going to go to the corner? No, I do not have any legal streams, unfortunately, nor can I endorse any of them. So, yeah, I don't know. Sorry, mate, you're on your own. Yeah, and there's the decision. They will go for poles, which is the right call, because I think the Lions are suddenly putting the Bulls under a lot of pressure. A great carry here by Dwayne Famuni. He absolutely steamrolls Jakob Asaki. He manages to hold on to the shirt and eventually bring him down, but I tell you, he's called Thor for a reason. That is a huge hit. And that's the thing you get with Dwayne Famuni. Even when he's not having his guest game or particularly visible, when he gets a chance, he'll make a difference. Because apparently kicking against, well, I don't think there's much wind there, but apparently there is a bit of a breeze kicking towards him. So, well, direction's fine. No, actually, I take it back. So, sneaks to the right of the pole. So, we'll stay at 14-14, which is a big moment. That's very uncharacteristic of Mornestein. Look, I don't know what the breeze is like, obviously not being there, but the kick, I mean, distance-wise, he definitely had an extra sort of 5 meters. What do you think about Wandisile Similani? I love Similani. He's such a nice player to watch. His attacking nature is second to none, really. If you can sort out his defense, he's your Springbok outside centre in a couple of years. But it all comes down to whether he can just sort of take that step up. Big Albert says how the Bulls will come back on top. Well, I hope not, but we'll have to wait and see. Vincent, ooh. Okay, so penalty there from the Lions from a tackle from Rasta. I didn't really hear a call, not that the commentary's up very well. So, is that Marvin Ori giving away a penalty? Surely not. That must be about the 4th or 5th penalty / free kick he's given away. And after getting away with the penalty, Mornestein has now found touch well within the 22 for a line-out. Okay, so the Bulls on the left-hand side now with a line-out about 50 meters or so from the try line. Maybe a bit more, maybe about 20. No, I suppose it's 22, so I'll say about 15. And that's straight over the top, so that's another... Oh, goodness me. That's a penalty. So that's penalty for playing this poor player. Len was saying, can we just discipline people? Stop giving away needless penalties. I mean, it's a terrible line-out. Lions one possession. Frankie Horn jumped on it. And then Mornestein, well, then Glenn Mustaine was guilty of playing the sporting player. I think he was playing the lifter there, conceding another penalty, and they'll go again. Lions are currently their own worst enemies. Right, so Bulls once again, this time on the 5 meter. Sintu Manjezi goes up and he wins it. He's been good at the line-outs today so far. Okay, there's now another advantage. So we're entering yellow card territory here. Guess what? As Squazula says, Marvin Ori is giving away the match for us. Well, guess what? I mean, he's just conceded another penalty. Marvin Ori, I mean, the entire tournament I've been praising how he's kind of sort of started to fix that aspect of his game. It's the biggest problem. He's a big player. He's a good line-out option, but it's just his discipline is not good enough. And once again, that, as I said, as Mark Pettit says, that must be about the 7 penalties he's given away. I mean, 14 penalties by the Lions. Marvin Ori probably accounts for half of that. Right, the Bulls have set up the maul. It looks like they've got momentum. Lions cannot... This is red zone, and they've gone over, and Rastafari Savenga has given it. No answer to the maul. Too many penalties conceded. And Johan Kovala, who's on for Skalka Rasmus, comes up with the ball. He goes over, and the Bulls hit back. And this is all down to the Lions' discipline. They shouldn't have even been in this situation if they had just kept their heads and stopped giving away stupid penalties. I mean, it's a brilliant maul. You know, it was a good counter shove. They were going sideways for a lot of it, but they stuck to their guns, and eventually comes around from the side. Right, let me look at these stats. I'm going to go to the player stats. I want to see if we can talk about penalties given away. Wow, well, the stats are wrong here because it says Marvin Ory's given away 2 penalties so far, but I can tell you right now, it is a lot more than that. Just such a frustrating player to watch because he does everything right, and then it's just disciplined all the time. But obviously the kick was fairly straightforward, just to the left of the pole, so he wanted to stand out of the extras and back to a 7-point game. But this is what we're talking about semi-final rugby. This is a much better half than the first one. No, man, that's a high tackle, you blithering idiot. I give up on you. Just take him off. Let me fix the scoreboard there. There we go. That should be fine. Okay, can we please... Yeah, he's off. He must be off. Surely he's off. Oh, he's got a yellow card. Of course he got a yellow card. I mean... Marvin Ory, you are... Well, you just cost us a semi. If they score any points down... I mean, that's a terrible tackle. I mean, he's had so many penalties, then you're going to put in a tackle like that. No wonder you're in the sin bin. Now, you don't... I mean, come on. We've conceded the last 5 penalties in a row, and I'm pretty sure at least 3 of them were for Marvin Ory. Yeah, apologies about the scorecard. I think it should be updated now. Obviously, I'm a little bit behind here, so it'll be a bit of a delay. But we've got Ruan Dre on for Steve Satoli. Meanwhile, the Bulls are rampaging on a maul, waltzing into the Lions' half at this stage. And this will probably be a penalty if they manage. No, they managed to stop it legally. Ivan van Zyl sniping. He gets his offload to Cornel Hendricks. Thankfully, Vincent Tuka's there, who's busy playing like a one-man team at the moment. There's so much space. Well, the Lions' defense is absolutely nowhere at the moment. Willem Alberts slips a tackle. Ah, Yakovasaki. And that's a penalty, not 5. It's all happening here. The Lions are giving away penalty after penalty. The Bulls have got an advantage. There's an overlap. It's just very messy at the moment. Dwayne Firmino now on the left-hand side. They get up to the 5-meter. This is all Marvin Ory. This is all Marvin Ory. Whatever is happening here, this is Marvin Ory. Conceded penalty on the restart. Oh, he has another yellow card. Oh my goodness. Time's off. He wants to have a chat. This could be it, to be honest. Yeah, now Willem Alberts. Well, that's great. That's both locks off the field. Willem Alberts for... Well, that's brilliant. And I've actually got yellow cards, yes, so... And I need to add a second yellow card because we've got 2 yellow cards on the field. I mean, come now. Willem Alberts, Marvin Ory, 4 and 5 are currently in the bench. This could be the game, to be honest. Dwayne, you've got 2 guys in the bin. I really don't think it's worth complaining about the 2 meters that you lost on the mark. Okay, so the yellow card is for not being 10. I mean, it was a penalty there from Jakub Pasaki, who played the ball on the ground. And then, apparently offside again. Well, I'm a bit confused about the offside. I mean, it wasn't an offside on Willem Alberts. He said first it was a cynical tackle, then offside, but the offside wasn't Willem Alberts. Who scored the tries? Well, it's Grobelaar and Stevino Jacobs for the Bulls, and for the Lions, it was Wandisia Similani and I'm Willem Alberts. Right, the Bulls props have done their job. Lisa Koboka and Trevor Nyakani depart the field as Jacques Van Rooyen hits the field against his former side, as well as Mornay Smith. No Marcel van der Merwe, and to be fair, I think he was actually dropped. Was pretty poor against the Pumas. It wasn't a bad decision to drop him, to be honest. But yeah, this is chaos. I mean, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 penalties in the last 10 minutes from the Lions. 2 players in the sin bin, which means we've got a 5-man scrum. Sorry, I mean a six-man scrum from the Lions. And I'll tell you what, you want to talk about time wasting? This is a time waste. Any way you can get the clock, run the clock down, this is now how you need to try and do it. If the Bulls don't score here, as Jake White, I'm losing my everything, because I mean, with a 13-man side, this should be the game for the Bulls. Yeah, I'm trying to add the second yellow. I mean, wasn't really planning on trying to have a second yellow, but let me see if I can try and add a second yellow. I can move this one, I suppose. Right, and so Gino Jacobs goes over there. In the meantime, that's going to count as 2 yellow cards at this stage. So, yeah, well, that's it. And there we go. I mean, that's the problem with having 13 players on the field. So Stevino Jacobs goes over for his second try. Whilst it's over, there's just the overlap, to be honest. Straight over, one more time. Yeah, and of course there's going to be an overlap. So that's it. Well, that's it. But that's, I mean, disaster. Just a disaster. 2 yellow cards. Whether they're warranted or not, I mean, the yellow card on Marvin Orie, you can't even begin to try and argue. Yeah, I've tried to try and figure out how to add 2 yellow cards. Wasn't exactly planning on doing it, so yeah. But 26-14, kick to come, and this is the time where the Bulls can just take the game away. Oh no, he's dropped it. He's dropped it. Take away the thing. Life's maybe not that bad. He has dropped it. The Lions will hang on to another one. How have you dropped it? All you had to do was dive over, but he's dropped the ball. Yeah, and Ruster's just seen it, so he's asked for the time to go off, and he's dropped the ball. That's not going to count as a try. Thank the blooming Pope. Well, they're going to go check it, and when they do check it, they're going to realize that he dropped the ball, which is an appalling moment for him. He just loses it. Tom Barnett says, it's hard being a Lions supporter and having to stream this game. Well, to be honest, I mean, it's a fan channel, so we don't try and hide our neutrality here. It's not great watching. Thankfully, at least it's a try being disallowed. Hey, look, we win some, we lose some, hey. As a Lions supporter, if you don't know how to deal with losing, then you're a very recent Lions supporter, to be honest. Yep, cancel the try, cancel Christmas. Okay, so it's a penalty advantage. So we will restart with a Bulls penalty from the sounds of it. Yeah, thank you. That's to say we need to speed it up. I agree. Okay, so it's lost forward. So they're going back for the penalty on the scrum. So the Lions will hang on. Look, if the Lions can somehow manage to just stay in the game whilst we run down our 2 bloody yellow cards, that would be the main thing. We must have at least 5-6 minutes left for Marvin Orie, and next to about 8-9 minutes left for Willem. Yes, the time is back on. Right, time's back off. And now, I mean, Rasta, we just had an entire TMO check, and now we've decided to break for a water break. I mean, we just spent 2 minutes looking at the try, and now we're breaking for a 1 minute water break. And now you're trying to like hurry up the water boy. I mean, come on, mate. They've all had water. Okay, so yeah, we're currently having a water break, watching a decent highlight reel of Bundesliga Similani. So the situation is 21 points to 14 of the Bulls. Just had a try disallowed. We're going to restart with a penalty to the Bulls on the Lions 5 meter. Lions 2 players in the bin, both of the locks. Pretty important players as well. Marvin Ori has pretty much single-handedly handed the Bulls the way in with about 5 penalties conceded. And the Bulls are applying the squeeze, and it's just not looking good, to be honest. Tom Bonner says, to be honest, from what I've heard about Ori and everything, I would have already lost my mind. Mate, you have no idea. It's frustrating because he's got potential, and we say it every single time. He's a good tackler. He's good in the lineouts. He's a decent ball carrier. He just, this discipline's just a disaster. And now we're gonna really let the team down here. You're gonna try and have to see off this ball side for what, another 8 minutes. And the only chance of trying to get anything from this game is to just try and keep the scoreboard to within 10 points, and then try and find a way to score out towards the end. So Morningstain is off, which is an interesting call with 20 minutes to go. So look, I mean, it's a lot of faith that Jake Weiss showing in Chris Smith. To be fair, Chris Smith's a very good player. So and there we go. Chris Smith with his first touch. They get in the scrum, a cross kick there, and this time Shavina Jacobs doesn't drop it. So that is the try that the Bulls were looking for, and that was just inevitable. So they got back up to 26 points. And as the Lions, all you can sit there and say, well, how are we supposed to do anything with 13 players? So Chris Smith's first contribution is a try assist. Look, it's a big scrum, as you expect, next to a 6-man scrum. And the first thing he does is just stab it through, and there's a 2-man overlap. Shavina Jacobs gets there first and goes down. Well, he didn't have a try before this. He's butchered one and scored 2. So it's not been a bad, having a look at the replay of the last one. He scored this one. There'll be no issues with that. So the Bulls well in control here. Lions are a long way back here. We've got, what, 18 minutes left. So look, there's still time, but the Lions will have to try and score next. And with 13 men, it's more about damage control now. And all I'm hoping is that Marvin Ori just doesn't even take this field again. You've got basically 2 locks on the bench. You bring on Willem van der Sluys or Reinhard Nochnagel, and you tell Marvin Ori to drive himself home. Don't bother pushing up the team bus. Chris Smith misses the kick. Right, well, the only positive, being a Lions supporter right now, is we're up to over 150 people watching. So this is officially the most watched stream we've ever had. So thank you very much for everyone who's tuned in. Please do smash a like, subscribe to the channel. If the Lions aren't going to win, at least the channel can do well. Ray Van Merva says that Lions lose set, Proper's making it so easy for the ref, just turns out on the set. Well, it is Ruan Dre, who's also been pretty notorious at giving away penalties. I will give him a bit of Tian Swanepoel. For a fullback, he really needs to get better under the high ball. So the Bulls regather the kickoff, not too much issue. Put a very big kick up in the air, and Tian Swanepoel has spilt it forward. And this is what I keep saying. He's definitely been a find of the season with his boot. But under the high ball, he's just a bit too suspect for me. He needs to work on that part of his game. So Mara says they usually play neat rugby. Ori wasn't always like this, but I guess it's not his day. Look, this season, Ori's been much better. And I've said it a few times, and I complimented on it that he's seemed to have sorted out his discipline a little bit. But yeah, it seems to have just come back, to be honest. So we will have a scrum here. inside the Bulls half will be a Bulls put in, and I mean, it's a 6-man scrum, so this is just childish, to be honest. So Ambrose appears on. Currently Orenser, he's going to go on a run. That's a great tackle by Tian Swanepoel. That's well done by Birger Oendal. So it's a bit messy from the Bulls. I mean, there's such a big overlap wherever they go that they really shouldn't struggle to score points here. Milani's broken the line. Cornel Hendricks. Oh, goodness, this is just messy. Kick behind. I'm not sure why you kick it when you've got an overlap. Lions trying to keep it alive. They know they can't really afford to kick it. Cornel Scorsese has been asked to do quite a lot out on the... There he runs into Dwayne Vermeulen, though. But the Lions have got up to 50 meter, and the Lions trying to actually play a bit of rugby here. So, well, I suppose what have you got to lose? Let's try and run it around a bit. I'm not sure the turnover is good. He missed the ruck. Okay, Bulls will turn this over. His hand's in the ruck there. Yeah, thank you, Ruster. Run the time down. We need to get back up to 15 players. Get ourselves into the half, win a penalty, go for poles. Let's try and close the gap here. Yeah, good kick, good kick. John Albert says, go Bulls, show them how it's done. John could say, go Bulls, we're going to win. Don't you guys worry about that. Well, I hope not, but if you do, you definitely deserve it. Not the best showing from the Lions so far this game. Still in it if they can go and score, but just discipline. We spoke about half time. Too many penalties conceded throughout the match. And all starting to come back to bite us at the end. I mean, watching a team with 13 players, I mean, it just looks like they're playing against half... and they've lost the line out. Right, well, that's the last thing the Lions needed. Sintu Manchezi, he's been fantastic in the lineouts all day. He's won the lineout there. And the Bulls, I mean, why would you kick it? Oh, my word. Chris Smith. Well, that is a huge error. So the Bulls stole the lineout. Chris Smith shaped up, was in the pocket. A very nice pass from Ambrose Papier straight into the breadbasket. And Chris Smith just completely drops it. So, not that it makes much of a difference, but the Lions will have a very good position attacking scrum, but unless they can hook this very quickly, they've got no chance of winning this. Okay, so can the Lions win a 6-man scrum and try and find a way to score some points? Look, I reckon I wouldn't be surprised if they try and add a backline player or two here to try and win this. Yeah, we've got Birger Oendal's coming in. He's added a bit of bulk. Yeah, he shows you can win the attacking scrum. So we've got Birger Oendal coming at flank there. Frankie Horns moved to the back. But no, we've got a lock back on. That's probably why. Right, well, we can get rid of one yellow card. Because Reinhard Northnakel has come on. Sorry, it's actually Willem van der Sluis who's come on. So that helps. Back to 14. Couple of resets which will run the clock down. Look, if the Lions score here, the game's alive. A converted try means that they're another converted try away. But they need to score here. We're running out of time here. Real Kid says, not able to watch. A lot of criticism about Rasta. Is he poor today? He hasn't been great, if I'm honest. Look, a lot of it will be Lions complaining about a lot because the Lions have conceded a lot of penalties. I think a lot of them have been warranted, though. They haven't been great. And they've just conceded a freaking scrum penalty. Carlos is complaining about that. I'm not sure what the penalty is there for. Look, I mean, the penalty count has been astronomically one-sided. A lot of the penalties have been fairly justified, though. So, I mean, I wouldn't say... Look, I've seen worse referee performances. I've probably seen better. I just don't like the referee excuse. It's just so frustrating. And I understand it has been a very poor standard of refereeing across competition. But you just kind of feel that as soon as you're losing and you start talking about the referee, it just kind of comes across as sour grapes. But, I mean, look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of the last 10 penalties all from the Lions. So it does seem like you've only got one arm working a bit at the moment. But Lions at least back to 14 men. It's 10 minutes to go, so running out of time, you're going to have to score very quickly. But I think that this game is more or less gone. Bulls with the line on the halfway. They'll try and get it rolling more here. They can do whatever they like. They just need to try and run down the time here. Yeah? Actually, that's a very good call. That's a very good call. Oh, Morne van den Berg is off. He sit down and Broos Papier. Okay, he needs to support you, people. So, penalty there for offside. That actually has been something that the refs have suddenly started penalising a lot more for. Where before the line has ended, that's a good take. Where before the line has ended, the back line has come in sort of offside. And despite them having a attacking line out, I mean, the Bulls just won a penalty here, so not that it really matters. But the Bulls were penalised for coming offside. And Morne van den Berg took it quickly and went on. I mean, I don't know why he took it quickly. Just don't do it. You slow the game down, kick to the corner, maul it over, get a try. Even if it's just an unconverted try, it means an unconverted try takes us to a draw. Points, 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 people. This playoff rugby. Mike saying Lions going to need 16 men. Yeah, listen, it's not been a great performance, to be honest. Lions have been very poor today. 9 minutes to go. Look, I mean, regardless of the 2 yellow cards, regardless of anything, the Lions have not deserved to win this game, to be honest. So it's a very fair result. Bulls have dominated the set pieces. Their defense has been better. You can't have too many complaints so far. Look, there's 8 minutes to go, so the Lions still have the capacity to try and do something special, but it is getting quite late for anything of that. But we are back to 15 versus 15. So if the Lions can try and turn over and score, then they've got 8 minutes to try and score another one. But it is a big mountain to climb at this stage. And it looks like the Bulls at this stage have 1 foot in the Currie Cup final. The first final they've been in, I think, since 2009. Or something stupid. The Bulls just haven't been in the Currie Cup for years. So on the halfway line, Bulls looking up to start another rolling maul. Rayon North Markle is on, so Lions have pretty much emptied their entire bench. That's a good point. Thank you, John Couture, for the note. Yeah, so we're down to 15 men. So I need to put the yellow card there. Score has been a bit of a nightmare today, to be honest. Didn't help that we suddenly had to try and find a way of putting 2 yellow cards up. So we'll try and prep that. Not something we usually see or want to see. Right, so the Bulls now trying to find, and that's a big gap there. That's okay. Yeah, Bulls on the overlap. Curly Orange says man outside, cuts inside. Can we just at least lose with a bit of dignity here, people? Got the knock on from the Bulls. Come, counter. This is it. Yeah, go Morne van den Berg. And he goes straight into touch. So a bit of a disjointed play. Morne van den Berg tried to go on a bit of a counter attack, gets pulled out in the end there. So it will be a Bulls the line out well in the Lions half, and I think that's pretty much it gone. Nice idea of trying to create an overlap there, and it's a great tackle in the end. Yeah, and he is out. So that's the right call. Right, 196 people watching. Please do smash the like, subscribe to the channel if you are new. If we can try and get up to 200 people watching, that would be fantastic. It's definitely already the biggest audience we've ever had. So thank you very much for your support. We got another time off here. Can't really see who's down. Quite a lot of injuries today, which hasn't helped the bit of a stop-start nature. And we've got a contact lens missing. We've got somebody else down. It's all happening. It's all happening. Right, so man of the match nominations. Yeah, it's an interesting idea. Let me know who you think's been the man of the match down in the comments below. I think Cornel Hendricks is in with a shout. Trevino Jakobs obviously scored 2 tries, so he's probably the leading candidate. Apart from that, we've moved to this blooming stream's having a nightmare now. So yeah, let me know if you have any nominations for man of the match down below. We'll have to wait and see what the official decision will be. As I said, I mean, Trevino Jakobs with 2 tries is your sort of big. I mean, Cornel Hendricks, as he rushes aside 2 tackles, he's been fantastic as well. That's a very good line run, but it's forward pass. Well, what was quite an enjoyable 30 minutes has been quite sloppy in the last 10, so wouldn't say we're finishing with a bang here. But yeah, if you have any man of the match suggestions, let me know in the comments below. Listen, Marvin Orr is definitely gonna. He'll be well welcome in the Bulls change him afterwards. He's definitely done his bit to ensure the result. But yeah. KPMG says, seems like No Proud showed how bad refs are more than usual, but it's probably also how much union changed the rules every season. Yeah, look, it's never easy. I mean, if you look at the scrum rules, for example, I've read them, reread them. I've even got a friend who's a referee, and even he says it's becoming so difficult to understand exactly what the scrum rules are and the rule change and stuff like that. Chris Ten says, Cornel Hendricks, yeah, I tend to agree. I think he's been huge. Hasn't necessarily scored the points, but he's been by far the most productive. Oh, yeah, Frankie Horn breaks the line. Come on, the youngster. Or 5 minutes to go. Can the Lions do something special here? Yeah, go Vincent. Come, this is the last few minutes here. Last few minutes. Let's make life interesting. Sorry, it's called taking the ball on the run, mate. So I rate you changing your team after this. Mate, I had season tickets for the season the Lions didn't win a single match. They broke a record. And if I'm still a fan after that, I'm going to be a fan for a long time coming. The nice thing about supporting a bad side is, first of all, expectations have never been particularly high. And then suddenly when we were playing well, it was like life-changing. So we've got a penalty here. We don't have time for this, Alton. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Guys, we've got 4 minutes to make up a lot of points here. Okay, so hopefully line out, and then they need to try and get a restart. Yeah, offside from the Bulls side. Look, I think it's too little too late here, but if the Lions score quickly, then hey, anything can happen, I suppose. But I mean, we've got 4 minutes here. I mean, you need to score here. Try and slot the conversion. Guys, can we not walk to the line now? We've got 4 minutes to go. And they've lost the line out. Well, that sums it up. And I think that's the thing. At the end of the day, just second best the entire tournament. Not the entire tournament, the entire game. Yeah, they lose the line out on the 5 meter with 4 minutes to go. The Bulls will kick. I mean, they've only found touched outside the 22, but that was the moment for the Lions. They've got less than 4 minutes to try and score. Even if they don't get it, take the conversion and get going again. So really don't have much time here. And yeah, let's have some fancy lineouts because we've got time for that. I mean, really, people? His knees on the ground. He has to release. Damien Jefter says, Cornel Hendricks, pure class and strength, and he knows how to finish off. Proud bull hunter. Yeah, look, I'm so chuffed for Cornel Hendricks. To have gone through what he's gone through and to come back and play like this in a position that he's not familiar with has been brilliant to watch. Toby Vandenberg says, as professional athletes, rule changes should not have much effect on the game. I've never seen the All Blacks struggle with adapting all their provinces. Yeah, look, I mean, Richard McCaw never really abided by the rules anyway, so. But yeah, I mean, it's true. I mean, for the players, you can't complain. You know, it's one of those things. It's never like they introduced 10 new rules. It's just slight changes. But high tackles are still high tackles, and being offside still being offside. So it's pretty much basics. What has been happening is that the referees are starting to play things that they might not have done as much a year ago. So we've seen a lot more offside penalties from from lineouts and scrums, which are now being penalised, which is good to see, to be fair. To be honest, I don't see why Amy Barrett-Turon wasn't given a semi-final. I mean, I think she would have done a better job than Rasta, or she's been doing a better job than Rasta during the group stages. So, in what has been quite a poor year of officiating, I think she's been quite a shining light. I mean, I wouldn't say she's been life-changing, but for somebody who's coming through in her first couple of games, she looked quite proficient. Shauna Farrell says Bulls to win the Currie Cup. Gladwell says Blue Bulls. Garner Johnson says you go Bulls. John Coetzee is asking how many Blue Bulls supporters are there here. Lots. I've been up against the Bulls supporters the entire match, which is about right, I suppose. But hey, I've been a minority supporter for a long time. It's fun. It's fun being the underdog. You guys should try it. So the Lions Currie Cup campaign comes to an end. Look, we had some good moments. I didn't have much ambition for the Currie Cup, to be honest. I think the important thing for the Lions was to prove that they were in the top 4. The Bulls are the best side in the country. We know this. We saw this during Super Rugby Unlocked. They've got the best squad. They've got arguably the best. No, they're the best coach. I mean, really, I can't even argue that. Best coach, best squad, most money. They should be playing the best in the rugby. And at the moment, they are. So their credentials are about right. So I think for the Lions, it's a very young squad. There'll still be some question marks over the coaching staff, but there have been some good moments. I think Wandisile Similani is a shining light. Vince Tuka's playing nice rugby. So despite the Lions campaign coming to an end, there were definitely some good moments. You know, some good wins against the Sharks, some good wins against the Western Province. And back to the drawing board ahead of the Rainbow Cup. What we need is a couple of signings, and then we'll go see. And then we've got a big game coming up in about half an hour. We'll be live once again for the Western Province versus the Sharks. So hang around. We're going to end the stream here. We're going to do a bit wrap up so that people that didn't watch can have a bit of a 5-minute summary. We'll upload that quickly, and then we'll get back live for Western Province versus Sharks. And I might even break out a cold beer or two. Right, let's see. We got Sean Green who says Storm all the way. So Sean, I'll hopefully see you at 4:30 for that game. We've got Mike, John Coetzee, they're celebrating. So Jojo Vessel, KPMG said, would say the Bulls would win, but the Lions had a record-breaking amount of handling errors today. No, they did. As I said, the Lions just didn't pitch up. They are a lot better than the performance they gave. Fred says, Bulls all the way, Jake White made a big difference. He's made he's a World Cup winning coach. Right, well, the time is actually up. The Lions are trying to get a consolation try, finish their season on a bit of a high. But the Bulls will be in the Currie Cup final for the first time in 11 years. I'll tell you, someone who's come on and I think needs a bigger chance is Frankie Horn. It was a huge sign to get, a very talented youngster, and I'm hopefully we're going to see more of him in the Rainbow Cup. But for now, the Lions try and find a consolation try, as Burger Undal tries a bit of a 50-50, but the Lions have won it back. This is all very messy, to be honest. And we won a penalty, so guess what? We can try and get some points. But Joe, congratulations to the Bulls fans. It must be really nice watching a team back to where you should be. I mean, it's actually been not depressing. I mean, I've enjoyed it because we've been doing well. But to see the Bulls being so poor for the last couple of years, it's been very strange for SA Rugby. I mean, one of the first matches I ever watched live was a Bulls versus Reds game back in the Bulls prime. So it's good to see them back doing their best. And I think when it comes to the Rainbow Cup, they will probably go in as a potential favourites. And I think having Jake White, having Morné Steyn, and players who've played in Europe are going to be a big, big factor in terms of going over and playing in the European conditions. Even though it will be during the European summer, so it'll be quite warm. Alton Yankees tries a cross kick. Of course, Noskasan. Oh, that's a good try. There we go. We'll end on a high. So congratulations, Bulls fans. You are in the final. The Lions finish off with a try. A nice little cross kick there. Some good moments, but just the discipline. You know, it wasn't the Bulls' best performance, I don't think, which is a compliment to the Bulls, because I think that's the whole thing, is when you don't have the most possession, and if you don't always have the most territory and still get all the points you need, it's the mark of a great team, and that's the problem. The Lions had their chances, didn't take their chances. The Bulls had fewer chances but took them, you know, and they're deserved winners at the end of the day. Bernard says, how long until the Sharks play? Half an hour, 32 minutes. So we'll be back live very shortly. We'll just jump across, do a bit of a wrap up, then we'll come back live. I'm going to try and see if I've got any beers buried somewhere. John Barnard. I think that's the comment of the day. It was nice having Ori back on the Bulls team today. So he slots the kick. That will be 26-21 points. Congratulations to the Bulls. They are in the Currie Cup final. Full-time. Yeah, decent game. I mean, it was a lot better in the second half. Got a bit sort of open, quite exciting. I mean, it's not a bad showing by the Lions, and I think they'll take courage in the fact that despite losing, they had the chances, and they probably could have done a lot better. Sean Green says, keep up the streaming, good work. Thank you very much for the support, Sean. Fred says, as long as one of the Northern teams win, I'm happy. Well, there will be a Northern team in the final. We're going to do a wrap-up of this on the channel. The video will be uploaded shortly, and we will be live once again for Western Province versus the Sharks. So make sure you keep it locked here on Forever Sports. Thank you very much.